in this session, we will use R programming to process smart meter data. We will do load profile analysis. So we'll use R for analyzing smart meter data. This data is freely available on internet. You can click the link provided to download the data. You can also install R Studio, which is an open source tool, to perform the analysis yourself. If you want to learn more about R, there are references where you can go and learn more about R. And R can also be used in Spark. So we will perform following steps in R programming to analyze the smart meter data. So you have to ensure that you have the required packages. Call the libraries after these packages are installed. You need to set your working directory where you have your data file. Then you will read the data from that file into your R. Thereafter, you'll perform data pre-processing, such as split some data, change the name of the column, combine data from multiple files if you are processing multiple files. Thereafter, you perform statistics and then invoke the visualization. With the visualization, we will look at and try to understand some of the inferences coming out from those charts. Let us first understand the data. Once you download this data, which is a smart meter data from London City, in the data set, it has about 168 million records. So there are two options. One option is you get the whole data set as one single file. Another option is you pull 168 separate files containing a million record of smart meter data. So in this data, if you look at the table, on the left hand side, the first column is an identifier of the meter. Second column indicates whether that customer is on standard pricing or time of usage pricing. In the previous module, we discussed about time of usage pricing as well as standard pricing. So here in this example, you see all the records are STD. That means these customers are on standard pricing. Then you see the date and time. So the date and the time. So this data is at the resolution of 30 minutes, meaning every 30 minutes system is sending one record. And then fourth column is kilowatt hour, which is the energy consumed by that particular customer. And then account and account group indicates the segment of the customer. Here you see affluent, but in the data set, it has affluent, comfort, and other levels. You will see all this detail when we perform the analysis. We will use one of these files, which contains a million record, to process and perform the visualization. Let me go to the R code. In the R Studio, I have written a program where very first thing you do is you install the required packages. So there are a set of packages which you need to install. Once you have installed these packages by calling install.packages and providing the name of the package, you call all these libraries which you use in this program. After libraries are invoked, we are setting a working directory. So in this example, I have kept the data file under C:*smart grid data. You can place wherever you want, and then as part of pre-processing, the first step is we are reading the data. So the name of the file is power-networks-lcl, and this is for June 2015. So that is the file which we have seen in the previous slide. Then I'm also loading tariff data, which we have used in one of the analysis. And then as part of the pre-processing, I'm separating the date and time so that I can maintain it in two different columns and adding that particular column into the record. Changing the name of the column, like the data on the 7th column is changed to date and the 8th one to time, because these are the two columns we added in the previous step. And we also rename the date time column. Thereafter, we are changing the class of the columns because we need to process this data, which is there in CSV file, and we have now imported it within R by using read function. So we are first converting the date time as POSXCT. Thereafter, we are converting the kilowatt hour measurement to numeric and we have used the metrics function to convert it to the numeric data. Then we are adding a column by combining the LCL ID and the account group so that we can view the affluent users versus other type of users and perform some analysis. We select the desired date. Since we have a million record and it is very cumbersome to view the whole million record for this particular example, that is why we have just selected a part of the record, that is like from October 1st to October 7th. After that, we are using Plotly. So Plotly libraries are a very good tool to perform the analysis. So we are calling Plotly, and here we are passing the data. We are providing the x-axis and the y-axis, x-axis being date time and y-axis being the usage. Thereafter, we are choosing the type of plot, like this is scatter plot, and then we need to just call this particular function. So when I run this program, since I have already installed these packages, I'm not reinstalling these packages. So I'm running the program, and on the right hand side, you will see a plot coming out. So you see on the bottom right, you see a nice looking chart. So we'll look at what this chart entails in our presentation mode. So the output generated by the R model provides how different people are using electricity for those 7 days. We see the customer type on the right hand side. So there are adversity, affluent, comfortable types of customers. And here you see the peaks. So you see there is a huge difference between the minimum energy consumption versus the peak. And this is one of the worry of utilities, to enable customers to shift their usage from peak to non-peak. And different users have different requirements. So let's look at the next slide where we are looking at a single user. So I just picked one of the user. So here I see there is a significant difference in the peak and off-peak usage. It might be that this user was away or only minimum occupancy was there in the initial few days, but later on the occupancy in the house has increased. So performing these analysis, you can derive multiple insights and inferences such as the occupancy level in the house. Here we are seeing the comparative analysis of two users who belong to different segment, and clearly we can see that segment plays a role in the usage of energy. Another analysis where we are analyzing some more customers, and comparative analysis indicates that the energy usage of this third customer is significantly higher than the previous set of customers. So these ways, you can analyze the data. What I provided is just a very basic way of performing the analysis on time series data. So with this analysis, you can learn more about customers, you can learn more about the data, and perform even more fancy analysis using R and other big data tools we talked about in our previous sessions. This chart indicates the mean consumption for a month. So with this analysis, I hope you will be able to work with smart grid data and perform analysis. Thank you.